All right, let's see if this works. There's no time like the present. Let's have let's have a little impromptu shir for the Parsha Shavua, Parshas Pinchas. When you're dealing with Pinchas, you have to go back to the end of last week's Parsha. You have the story of the Baal Peor sin of the Jewish people, some of the Jewish people, and Pinchas's action of jealousy for Hashem and vengeance for Hashem at the outrage of daring to do a Chilul Hashem in front of Hashem, in front of the whole of Klal Yisrael. Zimri and Cosby, this Midianite woman, princess. So the point is that you see Pinchas acting where nobody else was acting. It says that Moshe was crying. He didn't know what to do. He felt like almost like a hypocrite because he had a Midianite woman. Of course, there was a big difference. His Midianite woman converted to Judaism with all of Klal Yisrael when everyone became Jewish at the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai and Har Sinai. So there was an obvious difference between just taking a Midianite woman off the street and shacking up with her. That's, of course, a sin. It's znus, it's immorality. But Moshe Rabbeinu was married to Tzipporah. And Moshe Rabbeinu had children from Tzipporah. It was for family. And it was for the mitzvah of procreation. And Zimri was just doing it for the pleasure of the moment. It says that when Zimri was doing what he was doing, Pinchas waited and looked around for the leaders. He wasn't anybody. He wasn't even a Kohen. He was Aaron's grandson from Elazar, who was a Kohen, but when it was given over to be Kohanim, it was Aaron and his sons. The grandsons were not included. So any grandson was a Levi and remained a Levi. But the sons and any subsequent sons that they would have after their initiation into becoming Kohanim, they would be in the Kohanic family. So it was Aaron and Ubanav, Aaron and his sons that became Kohanim, not the grandsons. So Pinchas was a grandson. He was a Levi. After this act, in the beginning of this week's Parsha, in Parshas Pinchas, you see he gets a Parsha named after him, and he is elevated to the status of Kohanim. And we'll see why that is, that he should be a Kohanim. What is the equality or the similarity with what his act of vengeance, of killing two people, had anything to do with Aaron Cohen and love and brotherhood and bringing peace to the world of with the Karbanos, making peace between Hashem and making peace with Hashem and the Jewish people below. So we'll have to see what that means. Now I'm going to have to do this in a couple of minutes. I'll have to do a part 2. I want to see if it goes through on a shorter. This is like part 1 introduction to the Dvar Torah, to the Parsha, to the Shir on the Parsha, the class on the Parsha. Just finish with this point, then I'll send this, post this, and then start to complete the Shir. I'll go long and see if it can take a long amount of time, 20 minutes or whatever, 10 minutes. But this will be just to complete the thought. So Moshe was crying. He didn't know what to do. Aaron wasn't around anymore. And the leadership, the other leadership, they were also sitting around crying. Moshe was punished for this. Chazal say, our sages say, that his burial place was not known to this day because of his not acting properly here to do what Pinchas did, the mitzvah of Kanoim Pogim Bo, to care enough about Hashem, to be outraged at Achil Hashem, at a sin being done with, how dare you do this in front of Hashem and in front of the whole Jewish people, wantonly, blatantly breaking the Torah. And just flaunting your lack of fear of God. You're a Shemaim. So Moshe is punished for this, and the site of his burial place is not known Ad Yom Hazeh, on Har Nevo, a mountain in Jordan just across the border from Yericho, from Jericho, is where somewhere up there on that mountain Moshe Rabbeinu is buried. And no one will know his place until Tchias HaMesim, when he comes out of there and leads the desert Jews that died in the desert, leads them into Eretz Yisrael with Aaron and Miriam. And so the question is, we're told in another place that no one knows his grave to this day. It says that at the end of the Chumash, because that's necessary, so nobody goes there and tries to unearth it or make a shrine of some kind of Avodah Zorah worshiping Moshe Rabbeinu because of all the miracles he did, all the power he had from Hashem, manifested from Hashem. That's why we don't know where he's buried. And it says after the Bnei Yisrael went over the Yarden, the Jordan River, and they settled there and prepared Pesach, and then got ready, mourned for Moshe Rabbeinu, and got ready to go into Eretz Yisrael, full steam ahead to conquer the land. The people out there, the Ammon, Moab, whoever, Edom, whoever was out there, went up this mountain to try and find Moshe Rabbeinu's kever, his grave. And it says they saw it from below, and they went up to the top. They thought they saw it up on the top. When they got there, they turned around. They saw, no, Moshe's burial place, they passed it. It's lower. It's down below. They went down and they couldn't find it. Now it's up again. So it was to make sure that nobody knows a miracle happened, that Hashem made his grave undiscoverable. You're not able to find it. So I thought that's the reason. To protect Moshe Rabbeinu's honor and his rest, and that he should have peace. So what is this about? He cried and didn't act, and so Hashem is punishing him now that he didn't do what Pinchas did or make any other moves. He did make one move. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. He made one move, which was coming from Hashem after his inaction, after the sin was starting to take place. But why he should be punished that we don't. So what does it mean we shouldn't? The only answer I came up with, I've never asked anybody this, but the question came to me when I found this medrash that talks about Moshe being punished by Hashem for his inaction when Zimri was sinning. And my answer is that it still would have been. No one can discover it. You or I or any of the goyim out there, nobody can go and find Moshe Rabbeinu's kever. Hashem won't allow it. But certain tzaddikim, gedolim, special people in history like Yoshua or whoever, David HaMelech, would have been allowed to visit Moshe Rabbeinu's kever and pay him respect and pay him honor on his yortzeit, for example, to not abandon the grave. A big thing in Judaism for your parents, not to abandon their grave. Unless you move to Eretz Yisrael or whatever, you can't help it. Your parents are buried wherever you are. Now you move to Eretz Yisrael. You can't help it. You're not doing anything wrong. But if you live in the same city, you have to visit your parents' grave a couple times a year at least. And on their yortzeits, hopefully is the time to go, the best time. And you bring a rock and you put it on top, so that the kever should not look like it's been abandoned and none of the relatives, none of the children care to come and visit their parents. So Moshe Rabbeinu also suffered for 3,000 years now. Nobody visits his grave. I don't know if he feels any pain or any kind of upset from this whole thing, but maybe that's the answer. Of course he would have been protected by Hashem, that he could never have a untoward experience of some hooligans coming to deface his kever or dig up the grave, chas v'shalom. It's in a cave anyway. With a boulder, it'd be hard to get through there anyway. But still, he would have been protected. Hashem would have moved it around so nobody could ever find it. And there is a thing about the Aron HaKodesh, I'll tell you later on, that Yirmiyahu Navi was able to place the Aron HaKodesh when it was clear to him that in the near future the Beis HaMikdash was going to be destroyed. He found a way to secret out through tunnels underneath, through Yerushalayim, underneath the Beis HaMikdash, to secret out, steal away, take the Aron, and he brought it to Moshe's kever. Oh, somehow miraculously the kever opened to him. He found the kever, first of all, where nobody else can find it, and he put it in there. And he put it to be protected by Moshe Rabbeinu until the time is right for the Aron HaKodesh to come back to the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, the third Beis HaMikdash. So that's what we have. He's punished, but it would have been, had he not done something wrong in Hashem's eyes, of not acting and showing weakness and crying as if he felt humiliated or he felt ashamed, that how could he respond when he had a Midianite wife. All of that was considered by Hashem as a mistake, as a sin, and so he's punished. That would have been protected, but certain tzaddikim, certain great Jews would have been permitted to visit him, shown where his kever is, would have come there. However, they came there secretly when no one's watching, so that they could spend some time davening and visiting Moshe Rabbeinu. That would have happened throughout history, but he was denied that because of what happened here. So I'm going to cut this off right now here and send it out to you.